We have some new developments in the AT&T Time Warner merger. It turns out that a day before the DOJ sued to block the $85 billion deal, AT&T CEO Randall Stephenson launched an unsuccessful last-ditch attempt to avert the lawsuit. So what went down at this meeting? What does it mean for the merger going forward? Let's bring in the reporter who broke this story, Ed Hammond, Bloomberg's deals reporter. So this happened, mid-November, before Thanksgiving?
Yeah, so it was the Friday before the Monday that the DOJ came out and sued to block this merger. So what we know right now is that Randall Stephenson flew down with his sort of main lawyer, a guy called Daniel Petruccelli. They had this very short meeting. It sounded like it was quite a sort of testy meeting with senior people from the DOJ, we believe, including Makram Delrahim, the head of the DOJ. In this meeting, AT&T proposed something that they felt was potentially significant enough to get DOJ to step back from trying to block this deal. But it fell apart. It sounds like the conversation didn't last long, fell apart quite quickly. Obviously, they flew back, and DOJ came out on Monday to sue.
And so how serious was the proposal then that they took to the Department of Justice? Did they map what's been seen previously in terms of vertical integrations? I guess Comcast is the one that comes to mind, and offer that and then were refused.
So it's a really interesting question, and one obviously we and I'm sure others will be doing more work on over the coming days and weeks. Exactly what they offered, we don't yet know. We do know that they felt it was significant, and even significant enough to get justice to sort of row back from this very hostile language that had been going on in the build-up to them obviously coming out and suing. They have told us, AT&T, this is, as they previously said, they had offered the DOJ a variety of solutions that are consistent with decades of precedent in vertical mergers, and they strongly believe that any divestiture of assets is not required under law. So then the question is, did they offer some kind of divestiture of assets in the hope that that would be enough to sway the DOJ? We don't yet know. The alternative is that they offered some kind of behavioural remedies that they felt would, as a package, would be enough to convince them that, look, guys, we are going to be good actors in this merger. CNN, I think we can say definitely not. In fact, they've told us today on the record, and of course, we've never offered to divest control of CNN. So CNN, if this deal happens, it sounds like CNN is staying well under the sort of auspices of AT&T.
What's the next sort of date to watch in this saga in terms of the legal battle that we now all expect to play out?
So the way it's playing out at the moment, AT&T are making the argument that this has been in front of the DOJ for a long time. They've had plenty of opportunity to look at the merits or lack thereof of this case. So they're pushing for quite a quick resolution, or at least a quick trip to court, and then obviously the judge will dictate the timing. It sounds like the Department of Justice, for their part, are saying they want more time. They want some more time to actually build up their case against this and to make the sound arguments for why this merger should never fly. So I think we're looking at least early next year. The question of quite how early will be dependent on where the two parties get to in their negotiations.
Is there anything that the DOJ is looking for AT&T to offer up? I mean, if AT&T did say, we'll give up CNN, the DOJ would say, OK, then it's a go.
Well, look, the speculation has been if they give up, not CNN, crucially right, if they give up Turner, CNN is contained within that. I think if they just said CNN, it would be too obviously political.
I was about to say
Turner is one of the assets. The other asset that's been talked about as being potentially that would allow this deal to go through is if they gave up DirecTV, which obviously is, again, very, very unlikely that they would ever do it because it would materially impact the economic sort of logic for them doing this deal in the first place. So it's unclear. Look, there are other things they could potentially look at. Live sports, they could have said if they give up that would limit their power in the market. But again, these are assets that AT&T values very highly. So they would have to really think it was a kind of knockout blow if they were going to do it.
But we kind of make the supposition here, though, that just offering what traditionally has worked in the past as far as a vertical integration is concerned simply hasn't worked. So the game has changed here, clearly.
The game seems to be changing. And obviously AT&T, their argument in court is going to be these behavioural remedies have worked in the past, and they have been allowed to be used to let these mergers or these type of mergers go through, notably in NBC and Comcast. So they're going to say that is enough. Obviously, DOJ are going to come out and say the landscape has changed. It's no longer enough. Plus, they're going to say that when these things have gone through before under behavioural remedies, the companies have proved, despite their best promises, to be bad actors.
Diplomatically answered there, Ed Hammond, and I will continue to push you, Bloomberg Deals reporter. Nice work.